What's up people, Sharky back, and today I'm going to be looking at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Ralph Steeler Pulaski, and Short-Fuze. Why doesn't he get a full name on there? Anyway, whatever, let's get cracking. Alright, so straight off the bat, you get a look at everything that comes with this set. We'll do a quick look at the side panel art. And there we have a nice little setup on the back. You can see some Energon cubes in the background as these two prepare to wage battle. Close up here of the face sculpts and what appears to be the blast effects and firing effects. We'll do the skill sets in a second. Legal Mumbo Jumbo here. They are 181 in the line. And we'll do it this way. Let's start here. All right, we're just going to get this camera to focus nicely. If I can. Please, focus. Come on, mate. What are you doing? Holy mother of... There we go. Alright, so starting with Steeler, as I try and balance this box and keep it still, he is a tanker. Obviously, he originally came with the Mobat, so it makes sense. In this case, he doesn't come with a tank, but he's a level 4. Next one is light weapons, he's a level 1. Next one is driver, he's a level 2. And the last one is artillery, and he is also a level 2. Moving on to Short-Fuze. He is a foot soldier, infantry, and he's a level 1. The next one is launcher, which makes sense considering he's a mortar man. He is a level 2. And the next one is siegecraft, and he's level 1. And the last one is, again, artillery. He is level 2. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't make for, overall, for both characters, really strong attributes. Which is interesting because they're both specialists in their field. You know, there's only one other mortar man besides Short-Fuze. And sure, there are other tank drivers, but... And he's level 4, like, don't get me wrong. But the other subsets, level 1s, level 2s, a bit weak. Anyway, I digress. What we will be doing also today is we will be having a look at their 2008 modern counterparts. So let's open this box and have a look at what's inside the box. As I am prone to do when I open up these figures, I like to see how they stand straight out of the box without any articulation of their limbs, and Short-Fuze has passed that test. When I've pulled Steeler out of the box, he was like this. So he is likely going to fall flat on his face. But anyway, that's an easy fix, of course, and he should be fine. So, whooshka, no problems there. Before we get into the figures, we'll have a look at all the accessories because there is a fair bit to get through. So we'll just pop these guys over here for now. There we go. Good lads. All right, we'll start with Steeler. So he comes with a shovel, which I dare say we've seen before with, oh, was it Outback or Duke? One of them. But it's a nice piece. I wouldn't say it's necessary for this set, but it is, of course, reused. There's a close-up look of it. An additional extra that you probably won't use, but hey, it's good to have options. Now you come with two knives. I don't know exactly whose is who, but we may as well look at them both together. You've got this more angled bladed one with a serrated edge as well. And then you've got more straight edged blade with a smaller serrated edge. And again, I do believe these are reuse. They look familiar. I couldn't tell you who they came with, but there you have it. Steeler comes with his trademark tank driver helmet, which has the visor. It looks like it is translucent. It might be a bit hard to see on the camera. Let me see if I can. What about if I hold this lamp up? Does that do anything? Yeah, might be able to see that. You can see through it a little bit. And it's a nice piece, especially considering that the 2008 version was bare bones in terms of that helmet. There was another modern release that came later where they corrected that, and the visor part here was red. But it sits up here nicely. It's not falling off. It's quite tight. He's got his mic for communications. No sign of a Joe Pro anywhere. And it's pretty basic. That looks like, let me see if I can get that to focus. That looks like it's paint rub there. Hang on. Hold still, Adam. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be like that. So that's a bit shit. Anyway, I'm going to be looking at the back of his head that much, so whatevs. Comes with this sidearm here, which we have seen before. It has a port for the suppressor that is attached to his Uzi, which of course is, again, reflective of the modern and vintage release. And of course, this will just be going in his holster, and I won't really be using it, so whatever. It is a little janky, I'm not gonna lie. Mag does not come out. Might as well just go ahead and pop that in there now. We'll cover that holster component once we start to have a look at the figures. All right, blast effects. You get a few, like a good handful. And I'm not going to look at all of these individually, because if you're familiar with the line, you will have seen these have been released before with the Viper 3-pack and in other variations, I think, of releases. I can't remember exactly, but the Valkyries maybe, I think, came with them. But there's a good look at all of them. You can zoom in if you want. Zoom in? You can pause it and have a look, or you can take a screen grab, whatever. But yeah, that's those. You're not really here for blast effects, let's be honest. It's just reuse, so we'll get that over there. And you, of course, get his Uzi, as I mentioned. Suppressor has a port for blast effects. That also is removable. There is, of course, no port on the actual weapon itself. And I think this came with one of the Snake Eyes releases. Pretty certain. It's a nice piece. Like, I'm not mad at it. I do like it. I'm a sucker for an Uzi, so there you have it. Okay, Short-Fuse. We have this sidearm here. And I'm trying to remember where I've seen this before, and I can't place it, so feel free to let me know in the comments. Speaking of comments, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, feel free to let me know. Hit the like button, share this around, hit the hype button if you want. Do as you please. I do like this. I like the wrap around the handle. Was it one of the Dreadnoks maybe? It's escaping me. But yeah, it's a nice little piece. It's sure better than the one that comes with him, that's for sure. You get a different version of Rekondo's rifle, which still has the wraps, of course, but instead of it being in a sort of tanny brown color, it is black. I do like it, actually. I'm not angry at the fact that they've included this. Like, sure, neither of these characters originally came with such a weapon, but I guess it's a nice option, and it lends to his proficiency in certain arms if you go back and read his file card. I think he had an M16, and that, of course, is not an M16, but as a foot soldier, he is going to be able to use a rifle, isn't he? You get the SMG from Outback, which is almost identical, except the strap is a lighter color. And again, port for blast effects. I should show you that that one also has a port for blast effects. And look, I'm not overly impressed with the inclusion of this, but sure, you know, more reuse, but it is what it is. Have a look at his helmet. And this is nice. You got the clear visor here. Hold it in front of the camera, Adam. It comes up, sits flush. It's not loose at all. The paint hits here. The lighter green contrasts nicely with the OD green of the helmet. And then you got this brown little pouch on the back. And of course, you know, this guy originally had a visor. Stop and focus. The modern version did not. But anyway. But yeah, it is a good, solid helmet. He also comes with a set of glasses. Now, on this figure here, they're more akin to sort of aviator sort of style, I guess you could say. Not in the shape, but in terms of the lenses. Whereas they've gone more for, these are almost like spectacles. And they are translucent lenses, which is cool. How well they stay on his head, well, we will get to that shortly. But yeah, be careful with these, they are small. Do not lose them. Get off my finger. He, of course, comes with his trademark mortar. And this is the first time we've seen this in the line. And of course, they went for a bit more of a modern update as opposed to this outdated version. Look how loose this stand is on this thing. Yes, the 25th era figures have not aged well in my humble opinion, and I have many of them. So yeah, this is cool. The stand can be folded and it is holding well, like it's not loose yet. You've got the sight over here. Focus, please. Giving me the shits. It's pretty basic in terms of the barrel, or the chute, I guess you might want to call it. But you've got some nice detail down here in whatever this disc is called. I'm no Mortar expert. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you would call this. And the handle here. And some more detail under here. It's pretty cool. I feel like we're going to see this used again in a Cobra Mortar Man pack or something along those lines. Maybe a Bazooka Trooper and Mortar Man 2 set. Would not shock me in the slightest. Next up, you've got his backpack for carrying said mortar. And that does fold down. I don't believe we've seen this at all before, so this is new. It's a bit cheap looking, at the risk of sounding like a plastic expert. But it will do the job, hopefully, once we get it on. And lastly, you have the mortar round that goes into it. There is a port on here. Looks like for some kind of firing effect. And yeah, that's all the accessories, folks. Let's take a look at the figures. We'll start with Steeler. Give you a good look at the face sculpt, which I think looks pretty good actually. It's one thing Classified nail over majority of the other lines is the face sculpts. They rarely ever have many misses. Like, look at the part of the hair and the waves through there. It's great. Now, let's just do a little side by side with old mate here. And you can see that, you know, they've taken this and the vintage figure and really built on it. Like, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow in here. It's really nice and much better than this. He can look down this far, which is good, and he can look up to about there. Arm wise, they're moving nicely, no problem at all. Double pinless elbows on both arms, of course. Butterfly, which is, that gap there's a bit rubbish, but whatever. Moving no problem. Bicep swivel, of course, no issues there. Wrist swivel, no problems there. And I just want to see, is that hand a bit bent? Or is it just not? Interesting. Let me have a closer look at that. It appears I've got a janky hand, if you can see that. Compared to the other one, which of course looks normal. This one here is not, and it's not the articulation either, because I took it out and popped it back in, and I don't think this pin, is this moving at all? Oh, hang on, maybe it's just a bit stiff. Hang on, I could be wrong here. I think I might have just corrected it. Yeah, no, it's all good. Crisis averted. It was just, the pin was a bit stiff. So yeah, no problems there. Have a close-up look at the chest holster here, which pivots around, and I don't know if that comes off or not, but it being that loose is a bit worrisome. We just saw I put the sidearm in there earlier. He's got these black zippers here, I believe they are, on the arms. They look like zippers. I don't know what else they could be, because it's not camo or anything like that. Looking at it closely, I think it's a zipper. Not too sure though. And ab crunch wise, he can get to about there with the harness on. He can go all the way back to there, so no issues there. Having a look at the back, you got some elbow pads also, which I didn't point out, so there's those as well. Coming down to the belt here, he's got some carabiners here, and it appears to be a belt underneath the harness part here. Holster for the Uzi, pouch here, sheath for the knife. Let's just go ahead and throw one of these in there, I guess. Let's do this one. Thigh swivel is going to be a bit inhibited, I'd say, because of the way this is all fixed around the leg here, but no, it's moving freely pretty much. Yeah, no issues there. You can get that one all the way around. I don't know if, yeah, you can move this one all the way around too. So there you go. A little bit of resistance, but nothing major. Can almost kick his own ass. Legs are moving a little clunky, but not in a bad way. Just a bit stiff. Boot cut, which is always nice to see. Turn this foot around, mate. Come here. Feet wise, you can go 10 toes down, of course. And, oh, this ankle's moving. Well, he's trying to dance. You can go all the way up. So yeah, that's that figure. The face sculptor is, of course, the standout element of this one. He's a little bit basic, I guess, in deco and other respects, but you know, he's going to be sitting in the turret of your, well, we don't have a Mobat or an Armadillo, because the 2008 version I've showed you came with the Armadillo. But if you've got the ramen tank, well, you've got your driver right there. All right, looking at Short-Fuze. Zoom in on this old face sculpt here. Look at this handsome lad, eh? Again, he's got a substantial amount of hair, but working with a bit of a fade. It is a nice face sculpt as well. I feel like between that and the Mortar, that's where majority of the money has gone with this release. I feel like this webbing here is new. I don't remember seeing this before. So that's cool. He's got like a radio there. Once again, no Joe Pro. Wires are moving, no issues. He's got a little pouch on that sleeve and another one up there. Ab Crunch Rise. Ab Crunch Wise. That's a mouthful. No issues there with moving him. This does not inhibit him at all. Double pinless. Whooshka. Bada bing. All good in the hood on that front. Bicep swivel. No issue. And of course it will be the same there. His hands are not janky at all. They're moving fine. There is some articulation, but again the pins are a bit stiff. That's okay. Moving down to the belt here. Pouch. Got some nice tan hits, deco wires on it, but it's pretty bare bones. Basic, I guess. Another pouch down here. Got one here for the sidearms. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. That's sitting snug. Looks good actually. Thigh swivel. Oh, hang on a second. And drop down hips. I should have mentioned that before. They are in place there. Steeler will have them as well. These legs are a bit stiffer, but they are moving. No problem. But I feel like this one here with the holster is not going to get around, but you can have a play around with that. Leg wise, all the way up. And you'll see that this sheath for his knife is already falling down. It was like that when I opened the set up, which is crap, but also nothing new when it comes to some of these. And I feel like I'm going to remove that one because he doesn't need it. It's going to annoy me that it keeps falling down. But even if I push it up over the boot, it won't stay there because I did that before. I mean, it will stay there, but if you move the boots, it'll probably fall down again. Well, it's actually staying now. There you go. It's making a liar out of me. But that's the figures there. So let's go ahead and kit them up some more and have a look at them with all the accessories. Start with Steeler. So there he is, armed and ready for battle. Visor down. Close up. Visor up. So that's him. I didn't want to overload him with stuff because, you know, if he's going to be driving a tank, he's not going to be overloaded with stuff. So we'll just throw him there for now. I'll give you a look at Short-Fuze. Helmet off first up. And with the glasses, they are staying on. And there's the backpack with the Mortar. And that just sits in there like so. I'm not too sure like what's this folded up for exactly. Again, I'm no Mortar expert, so feel free to tell me if there is a reason for that, because I haven't looked at any product images or anything like that to see if that's how it goes. But anyway, let's throw his helmet on, have a look at how that looks and if the glasses are going to stay on with that helmet. There he is with the rifle, and it looks pretty good. I think it suits the figure quite nicely. And you can of course give this to Steeler if you like, so he's got a second SMG to have as backup in the tank, or you can give it to this guy, whatever you like. That's the good thing about this set, you know, you've got multiple options. One thing did happen when I was fiddling around with the figure, this sidearm came out, and this holster is also being a little bit loosey-goosey, so we'll just tuck that there, but pop these two down here so you can have a look at them paired up. Don't want him to fall off the flag and take a dive. Get them closer together for you. They're looking good. They're looking good. But there's a couple of more things I want to do before we do some comparisons to some other 6-inch figures. So let's do that now. On his file card, it says that Short-Fuze is proficient in the M79 grenade launcher, so I couldn't help but put this Top Fun Retro Toys one in his hands with this awesome firing effect that they sell. So yeah, check out Top Fun Toys if you don't already have one of these and you want something dynamic for your display. And I think that looks awesome with this figure. And I went ahead and put this Gridiron MP5 in Steeler's hands. And again, I think this is a nice way to give this guy a different look. It would be the sort of weapon that you would expect. Again, like they've kind of packed in with a compact machine gun that you can have sitting idly by in the turret of his tank. So yeah, and that is a Gridiron blast effect as well. There's your first comparison. I figured we'll do a bit of Monster Force and a bit of Marvel Legends first. So you got the Phantom Core over here and the World War II Logan Wolverine over here. And the reason I also put them in there is, of course, their military aesthetic. He is camoed up a lot. These guys obviously are not, but you can have a nice look at the contrast of greens, Obviously the brighter jumper that he's wearing here as the more muted OD green coveralls, I guess you would call them, or whatever, as opposed to Logan's World War II aesthetic. Just a bit of contrast for you, but let's do one more comparison. And there you have it, what I have thus far of the OG-13. I am missing Hawk because I haven't got the MMS yet. And we are, of course, still waiting on Zap, which has been announced. We've seen him. And Flash, we are waiting on also, as well as Grand Slam to complete that. But all in all, they're looking pretty shit hot, I'm not going to lie. And this is a very, very basic setup that I've just thrown together in the last 5 minutes. So you can imagine how good it would be on a shelf with them posed like in a dynamic fashion, more so than just sort of standing static sort of poses. Before I do my final thoughts, there is one thing I did want to show you, and because I meant to do it earlier and I completely forgot and it just sprung to mind now. In the product shots, I did have a look and I saw that the blast effect was posed in the Mortar with a round and another blast effect coming out of it. And the blast effect can hold the Mortar round, but this is not sitting in there at all. Like, even if I do, well, you're not going to be able to see it unless I zoom out. Let me see if I can just quickly do that, because I do want to show you this. Even if I sit the Mortar in pretty much its most upright position, you can kind of get it to stay in there like that. But if you were to bend this, I'd say it's going to fall out. So yeah, it can be done, but it's not a perfect fit. Like, it just sort of sits in there. Anyway, final thoughts. I like the set, despite all the reuse, which one could argue is value for money. You are getting these two figures, which, if you want this set complete, then of course you're going to need them. With that said, I feel like there's a couple of misses, and getting the glasses on his head with the helmet is one, and I've actually bent the glasses now since then, and they are sitting on his head flush, but just be careful with those. They are a little delicate. So yeah, just be careful with that. And as I mentioned, you might have to heat up the helmet to actually get them to sit inside, but you don't have to put them in there. It's just something I want to point out. I will say this, the updated figures in terms of their aesthetics, make these two, pale in comparison, especially Steeler. Short-Fuze here is not too bad. But yeah, this is very, very basic. With that said, a couple more details on the figures would have been nice. I think they sort of cheapened out a little bit there, and you know, like I said in the review, majority of the money went to the face sculpts and the mortar sculpting, I dare say, because yeah, there's not a lot of other new stuff that comes with it. Now, they are of course banking on us diehards wanting to complete the OG13 like I've mentioned, but at $100, which is what I paid for this from Pop Culture, that's $50 a figure. Now, are those figures worth $50 each? I would say no. And even with everything you get in the set, which we've gotten before for the most part, I still don't think that equates. So, you know, I was fortunate I had a voucher to use to get this set, so I was able to knock it down in price. But if you're paying full price for this, that's a big hit. Now, of course, we've had price increases across the line and other lines with Hasbro, so there is that in play. But at the end of the day, you do want value for money. And let's be honest, how many of you are going to be using this shovel? You know what I mean? How many of you will be using the sidearms, which are just meh, you know, all the blast effects? Will you be using this? Because I tried to put it in Steeler's arms and the strap just got in the way. Like, I feel like you could cut that off if you wanted to, but I probably won't be using that. So yeah, you know, just weigh these things up before you pull the trigger. Anyway, on that note, I hope you enjoyed the review. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you didn't enjoy the review, you can also tell me why. All feedback is welcome. But I'm going to leave you to it. Until next time, have fun with your toys. Take care of yourselves, and say hello to your dogs for me.